Me 26 female, gender studies major who always believed family court system protects children, spent years arguing that custody laws are finally fair after centuries of patriarchal bias, constantly pointed out how historically women had no rights to their own children, believed modern courts prioritize children's welfare over outdated gender assumptions, wrote multiple papers defending family court reforms as necessary progress for equality. Brother Mike is 32, married his college girlfriend Sarah, seemed like perfect couple. They have 2 kids together, Emma, age 8, and Lucas, age 5. Mike absolutely adores them. Best father I've ever seen, coaches Emma's soccer team, builds tree houses with Lucas, takes kids on weekend adventures, helps with homework, reads bedtime stories every night. Sarah works part-time as dental hygienist, while Mike has demanding job in finance. Mike handles most childcare when home, bath time, cooking, weekend activities. Gets up early to make kids breakfast, packs their lunches with little notes. Always assumed this was normal modern parenting, shared responsibilities and love. Marriage seems solid for 8 years, no obvious problems from outside perspective. Mike and Sarah attend kids' school events together, plan family vacations, seem happy. Then Sarah starts complaining about feeling unfulfilled, wants more independence, begins going out with girlfriends more often, comes home late, seems distant, stops participating in family activities, leaves Mike to handle everything alone. Mike tries to be supportive, encourages her to pursue hobbies and interests, takes over even more childcare so she can have freedom to explore herself. Sarah starts staying out overnight occasionally, claims she needs space to think. Mike is confused but agrees to trial separation, moves into apartment nearby, rents place specifically chosen for proximity to kids' school and activities. Assumes this is temporary rough patch, that they'll work things out for kids, continues seeing Emma and Lucas every day, picking them up from school, maintaining normal routines so children don't feel disrupted by parents' problems, helps with homework at Sarah's house, stays for dinner, keeps everything stable. 2 months into separation, Sarah files for divorce and custody petition. Mike is shocked, thought they were working toward reconciliation, receives legal papers demanding he cease contact, except through lawyers. Sarah's attorney argues that Mike's long work hours make him unavailable parent, despite the fact that Sarah worked too and Mike handled majority of childcare. Lawyer also claims that Mike's controlling behavior necessitated the separation, cites examples like Mike insisting on family dinners and bedtime routines. Court-appointed custody evaluator visits both homes, interviews everyone involved. Mike's apartment is kid-friendly, toys everywhere, photos of children on walls, maintains consistent bedtime routines, homework help, everything children need, has bunk beds set up so kids can have sleepovers, art supplies for projects. Evaluator seems impressed with Mike's parenting setup and relationship with kids, interviews teachers at school who rave about Mike's involvement and dedication. Sarah's evaluation goes well too, but she admits Mike is very involved father, can't point to specific incidents of bad parenting or neglect on his part. Initial custody recommendation suggests joint custody with equal time sharing. Mike is relieved, thinks system is working fairly to protect children's relationships. Pays first lawyer retainer of $5,000. Empties savings account. Then Sarah's strategy changes dramatically. New accusations start appearing. Claims Mike has anger management issues, says she fears for children's safety. Provides no evidence, just her word against his about alleged incidents. Describes Mike as intimidating and emotionally abusive in sworn statements. Mike is blindsided, never raised voice to Sarah or children in his entire life. Asks family and friends to provide character references about his temperament. Everyone confirms he's patient, gentle person who's never shown aggression. Collects testimonials from neighbors, co-workers, kids' teachers, everyone who knows him. But family court operates on believe women principle. Accusations are treated as facts. Mike loses overnight visitation immediately pending investigation of claims. Can only see kids during supervised visits at Family Services Building. Sterile room with cameras, social worker taking notes on every interaction. Emma and Lucas are confused and upset, asking why Daddy can't come home. Keep asking what they did wrong, why everything changed so suddenly. Mike tries to explain without bad-mouthing their mother, says it's temporary, spends supervised visits playing board games, helping with homework under watchful eyes. Social worker documents everything, looking for signs of inappropriate behavior. Months pass, investigation finds no evidence supporting Sarah's allegations. Private investigator hired by Mike's lawyer confirms no history of violence. Psychological evaluation shows Mike has normal temperament, no anger issues. But damage is done, custody evaluator notes. Children have adjusted to new arrangement. Court decides that changing custody again would disrupt kids' stability. Mike gets every other weekend and one evening per week, loses primary custody. Wednesday evening visits last 3 hours, barely time to eat dinner together. Sarah gets house, majority custody, and substantial child support payments. Mike's monthly payments equal more than his rent, leaves him struggling financially. Appeals cost additional thousands. Mike takes second mortgage on his half of house, but family court judges rarely overturn custody rulings. Precedent heavily favors mothers. Mike becomes completely different person, depressed and exhausted from legal battles, starts seeing therapists to cope with loss of children and financial stress, works extra hours to afford child support and legal fees, barely surviving, develops insomnia, loses weight, stops caring about appearance or social life. Every other weekend with kids becomes precious but heartbreaking experience. Children are clearly being influenced against him during weeks with Sarah. Emma starts repeating things about Daddy being difficult and making Mommy sad. Asks why Daddy made Mommy cry, why he was mean to her. Lucas asks why Daddy lives in small apartment instead of nice house with them. Mentions that Mommy says Daddy doesn't love them enough to give them nice things. Mike can't explain family court system to young children, just says he loves them. Tries to make limited time special, taking them to parks, movies, fun activities, but can't compete with daily presence and influence of primary custodial parent. Sarah begins restricting communication, claims phone calls upset the children, screens all messages, monitors conversations, limits Mike's contact to bare minimum. Mike's time with kids gets reduced further when Sarah reports behavioral issues. Claims children are acting out after visits with father, becoming defiant. Court believes her claims without investigation, reduces his visitation again. Now gets kids every other Saturday only, 6 hours every 2 weeks. Mike starts talking about feeling hopeless, like system is designed to eliminate fathers. Explains how family court assumptions favor mothers regardless of actual parenting ability. Shows me legal documents proving how his accusations were dismissed while hers were believed. Research reveals that fathers get primary custody less than 20% of the time. Even when mothers have substance abuse or mental health issues, courts favor them. Tender years doctrine officially ended, but still influences judicial decisions. Mike's third lawyer explains that fighting further would cost tens of thousands more. Previous lawyers already cost him over $30,000 in fees. With no guarantee of better outcome, might even result in losing more time. Some fathers who keep fighting end up with no visitation rights at all. Mike stops fighting, accepts minimal visitation to schedule to preserve what little he has, becomes increasingly isolated, stops socializing, quits activities he used to enjoy, cancels gym membership, stops playing in weekend basketball league, spends most time alone in apartment, working or staring at photos of his children, talks about feeling like ghost in his own kids' lives, watching them grow up from distance. Sarah starts dating new man within months of divorce finalization. Children mention mommy's friend who stays over, plays games with them. This man gets daily access to Mike's children while Mike sees them twice monthly. Mike realizes his kids are being raised by another man while he pays child support. Children's affection shifts toward mother's boyfriend who's there daily. Emma starts calling boyfriend by nickname. Lucas asks if he's going to be new daddy. Mike becomes stranger to his own kids, seeing them few hours every other weekend. Kids seem uncomfortable during visits, like they're visiting distant relative. Sarah schedules kids' activities during Mike's visitation time, forcing him to choose. Either miss soccer games and birthday parties, or give up precious visitation. Court won't enforce his time, says scheduling conflicts are normal family issues. Mike usually chooses kids' activities over his rights, wants them to be happy. This further reduces his actual time with children to few hours per month. One day Mike calls me crying, says he can't take it anymore. I've lost everything that mattered. My kids don't even know me anymore. Explains that Sarah is planning to move several states away with new boyfriend. Her lawyer filed motion for relocation, claiming better job opportunity. Court will likely approve relocation because she has primary custody. Mike's weekend visits will become holiday visits, maybe a few times per year. Legal system treats children like property that belongs to mothers. Fathers are viewed as visitors in their own children's lives, paycheck providers. Mike shows me text messages from Emma. She's excited about moving, talks about new house, new school, doesn't mention missing daddy, realizes his children have been successfully alienated from him. Court-appointed therapist confirms parental alienation, but says it's too late to reverse. Children's preferences now favor mother. They don't want more time with father. Mike stops returning phone calls, doesn't show up for family dinner, misses his scheduled visitation. Sarah reports this as evidence of abandonment. Worried about his mental state, drive to his apartment to check on him. Find note addressed to family, explaining that he can't live without his children. Says life isn't worth living if he can't be real father to Emma and Lucas. Describes feeling like failure as parent and man, unable to protect his kids. Talks about how system destroyed everything he worked for his entire life. Mentions that insurance money will go to kids' college funds since he can't provide. By the time I find the note, Mike is already gone. Jumped from bridge near downtown. Rescue teams find his body 2 days later. Note also contained detailed timeline of custody battle, exposing court bias. Documented every lie Sarah told, every decision that favored her without evidence. Emma and Lucas are at funeral, confused about why Daddy is in the box. Sarah acts devastated but prevents children from speaking at service. Claims it would be too traumatic, but really wants to control narrative. Children never get to say goodbye properly or understand what happened. Sarah remarries her boyfriend within 6 months of Mike's death. Children call new stepfather Dad, while their real father is forgotten. Emma starts telling people that her real dad is the one who lives with them. Lucas has no memory of Mike by age 7, completely replaced in his mind. Start researching father's suicide rates after custody loss. Statistics are horrifying. Thousands of men kill themselves every year after losing access to their children. Family court system destroys fathers systematically, then society blames toxic masculinity. Discover support groups for fathers fighting custody battles. All tell similar stories. Good men reduced to walking wallets while strangers raise their children. Many consider suicide when appeals fail and children are moved away. Mike wasn't toxic or abusive. He was loving father destroyed by biased legal system. Children lose loving parent because courts assume mothers are automatically better. Find Mike's journal entries describing his deteriorating mental state. Documents sleepless nights worrying about kids. Financial stress from legal fees. Describes feeling powerless against system designed to exclude fathers. Final entries talk about wanting to see kids grow up but being prevented. Emma and Lucas will grow up believing their father abandoned them, never knowing he died because system made it impossible to be their dad. Sarah gets sympathy as single mother, while Mike gets blamed for abandoning responsibilities. Reality is that family courts pushed him out of his children's lives deliberately. Start contacting other family members Mike mentioned in the custody battle. His parents describe similar treatment, prevented from seeing grandchildren. Sarah cut off all contact with Mike's family after his death. Children lose entire paternal family line, not just their father. Mike's parents die without ever seeing their grandchildren again. Begin volunteering with father's rights organizations, learning about system corruption. Discover that family court is billion-dollar industry profiting from broken families. Lawyers, evaluators, therapists all make money from prolonged custody battles. System incentivizes conflict rather than cooperation between parents. Meet dozens of fathers who lost children through similar tactics. False allegations, parental alienation, court bias, all standard strategies. Women's lawyers teach these techniques as normal divorce tactics. How to win custody seminars focus on eliminating father involvement. Start attending family court hearings as observer, witnessing bias firsthand. Fathers treated with suspicion and hostility by judges and court staff. Mothers given benefit of doubt even when evidence contradicts their claims. See good fathers reduced to tears begging for time with their children. Courts dismiss fathers' pain as manipulation while celebrating mother's strength. Now, work advocating for family court reform and fathers' rights awareness. Try to educate other women about how system destroys good fathers routinely. Get pushback from feminists who think protecting fathers threatens women's progress. Called pick me girl and internalized misogyny victim for supporting fathers. Argue that children need both parents, not system that eliminates one arbitrarily. Point out that fatherless children have higher rates of problems in every category. Feminist organizations fight against shared custody legislation in every state. Claim that forcing women to share custody enables domestic violence. Use Mike's story in presentations about family court reform needs. Show how loving father was driven to suicide by biased system. Audience members share similar stories about brothers, sons, friends lost. Mike's death taught me that family courts aren't about protecting children. They're about transferring resources from men to women, using children as leverage. Real child protection would preserve relationships with both loving parents. Instead, system creates single-parent homes and dead fathers. Emma and Lucas are now teenagers, have no memory of their real father. Visit Mike's grave on anniversary of his death, alone every year. Children don't know the date, don't remember the man who loved them most. His sacrifice to provide for them through death remains invisible and unacknowledged.